I'm Genevieve Bargello.
And I'm Eileen Wurst.
And this is CFB News. Today we're happy to report the election results from the Clatfartburg mayoral election. Coming in first place was Victoria Tory Coppleton with 70% of the vote. In second place was Rebecca Martin, a.k.a. Mrs. Parson, with 22.2% of the vote. And finally, Nancy Pankin, as a write-in candidate, did receive 7.4% of the vote. We here at the CFB News Department want to congratulate Victoria Tory Coppleton on her victory. Here is a clip from her acceptance speech now.
You went out and voted. Some of you didn't vote for me, but a lot of you did. I am now mayor. And guess what? Tick, tock. The alarm is ringing. We will work to talk about the thing in the woods. And also the excessive bird poop. Thanks.
Wow. Wasn't that incredible? I'm going to pass over to Eileen Wurst to talk about some of the rest of the fallout for this election.
Thank you, Genevieve. So something that is very unique to Clatfartburg is that we also have a vice mayor. And as per our tradition, the vice mayor is selected as the runner-up. So our new mayoral and vice mayoral mayors are going to include Mrs. Parsnip. I actually was able to grab a quick soundbite with her when she was going into the tea room, and I asked her how she was feeling about this moment, and this is what she had to say.
Well, I feel really great. I'm obviously happy to be here, and I'm glad to be able to forge something of a friendship with Victoria Tory Cobblepot herself.
This is sure to be a most interesting cabinet year. With that, thank you, Genevieve.
Of course, Eileen. This has been CFB News.
The majesty of a gourd. The gentle caress of a corn husk. The cozy changing colors within leaves as we watch them beautifully slowly decay and fall before our very eyes. Why, this is something that should be celebrated in a totally normal and a-okay way. And that is why we're putting on our Ugg boots. Yeah. And we're donning our terry cloth robes. And we've got a cozy little cup of coffee. And we're going to shuffle on outside because it's time for Clatfartburg's Harvest Fest.
Woo!
Get excited, put on your mittens. There might be a cold front. It depends on what, I was going to say Raleigh the weatherman says, but he's not created yet.
We haven't established him yet.
We haven't
Let's
established
not lock
him yet.
ourselves into Raleigh the weatherman.
We are not locking into Raleigh, but just know that there is a weather person out there, and
yeah.
I'm sure they will have their heyday. But hey, and where does hay come from? Straw? Grass? I don't really know. And that's because I'm a city girl. But
well, they recorded like a full 2-minute intro before this that was like fucking unhinged. And I think we're still trying to get off that energy.
I just slurped up some sugar, so I'm feeling a little
giddy. You did,
giddy.
and I'm very mellow today. So hopefully somewhere in the middle, the spirit of autumn will emerge. Like one of the Disney fairies after a little child laughs.
Whoa.
That's
amazing.
Canonically how they're invented.
Well, I love when we get history when we also talk about this fictional podcast. You know,
really read a lot of lore books on the Disney fairies as a kid, so
I love this factoid.
I can bring that to the table for this episode because I'm sure it'll be crucial.
There is We'll come back to this in just a second, but we're going to have a fairy garden, and it's going to be insane. So let's hold on to that.
The famous Autumnal Fest fairy garden,
of course. This is now entering Clatfartburg, a podcast that is world building upon the fictional town of Clatfartburg. I'm Elaine.
I'm Felicia.
And yeah, we're making Harvest Fest because if there's one thing I've learned about this podcast is we have a great goddamn time when we make a festival or some kind of event. And Clatfartburg really enjoys celebrating things, and they just had their tough mayoral election.
Exactly.
You know, things are happening, and now it's time to just
They're going to uncover the things in the woods, but not yet. We wanted a week off.
Not yet, and that might take a while. You gotta like do some things to repeal some of those laws before you can actually just start.
We're gonna make you guys fucking wait for the wood reveal.
You got,
and I want to rephrase that.
Hashtag wait for the wood reveal.
I want to rephrase that. The woods reveal. Is that better? Is that better?
Somebody out there is making a T-shirt right now.
I feel like I've probably said this on podcasts before, but there's one time I was camping with my family when I was a teenager. We were trying to get advice on where to buy firewood, and the one guy kept going, "Oh yeah, go to that guy. He gives great wood." And they're like, "Can you please change the way you're saying it?" And he kept doubling down, where it was like he has to know what he's doing.
Oh my gosh. See, that's the kind of energy I want to have at Harvest Fest.
Yeah.
So, I've never been to
I was going to be like, oh my god, a wood cutting competition. We did that already, didn't we? Didn't we already do that at Crispin
We kind of did, but I'm thinking.
Well, wasn't there something with meat?
It was meat on the wood? Well, at first it was carving out the meat kind of thing, but then it was different wood Crispies, and they just were using that. I think there are elements from Crispy Fest that can pop up here again, but in a different way. For example, I think the Trout Scouts should still be here. I think they should be up to shenanigans. Now, I guess the first question is Harvest Fest being held in the same field that Crispy Fest was held? Is it being held at a place like New Smythe Distillery, Dispensary, Tap House, Christmas Tree Farm, Lavender Farm, Absinthe?
I kind of like that.
Whatever.
I feel like it could be there. It feels like a little bit more upscale. Like maybe
they had to do it there this year for the first time. It like kind of rotates. They have been trying to find like a good room, and like a lot of people keep attending, so they needed something newer. And New Smythe was like,
there's like a craft fair element, so they need some indoor. They want a place with indoor capabilities.
Yeah, and this is where that old Smythe vibe is really helpful for the cutesy-ish part of this. But then you can also speak to the people who are more into like lava lamps and vases that have balls of twine in them.
Does New Smythe? I don't think New Smythe has lava lamps. I want to dispute that.
I thought we discussed lava lamps.
I don't.
We mentioned bubbles.
I think bubbles and lava lamps are two different concepts. Lava lamps
are bubbles within a lamp.
I'm high and it's 1990. Do you know what I mean? That's like a different.
Wow.
I say that like I've ever been high or alive in 1990.
I just imagined if Colonial Williamsburg sold lava lamps, what that would look like.
Yeah.
And it did bring me a certain amount of joy. I find lava lamps stressful.
I agree. It feels like there's something dangerous there.
You know, like it's a pattern I can't follow. I want it to do something. It won't.
It's too unpredictable. The uncertainty of this lava lamp is stressing me the fuck out.
And it's definitely just that. It's nothing else. It's just the lava lamp.
For reference, we're recording this the day before Election Day. So if you're like, this is a little off, that's why. Okay?
There might be some manic energy just flowing through the veins right now.
And if we talk about lava lamps for 5 minutes and how they stress us the fuck out, that's our business. Okay?
Yeah. Look, did I have a 5-minute conversation with myself in the mirror thinking about how fun it'll be when I bring up, and it's happening right now, Felicia, we're going to make a cornucopia, and we will be discussing each of the fruits and vegetables we want in that cornucopia and how we want it presented and what happens in it, because I do imagine anytime I think cornucopia now, I'm like, obviously Hunger Games. So I'm like, what if somebody I thought that
episode of Clatfartburg where they decided what fruits belong in the Clatfartburg Harvest Fest cornucopia.
Smash or pass, yams.
Smash. They're fucking great.
Yeah, there we go. It's so easy, you know?
Yeah.
The corn that's purple.
Is that too exotic for Clatfartburg?
It's so hard because we know they have all this like horrible toxins in their soil.
And they have that weird purple moss too.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Okay, so okay. This is actually a great start is the decorations, because that'll set the tone of what's going on. So New Smythe has their grubby little paws on this. So I think we're going to have some interesting things. I think that we're going to mostly keep with the traditional, when you think of like your classic fall, like pumpkin patch, corn maze vibe, like the, like little rustic, but I think they're going to be throwing in some weird new age stuff.
I think there's also giving like upscale farmhouse wedding, because that's how I've always kind of pictured New Smythe Distillery, is that just pushed to the nth degree,
like Chip and Joanna Gaines.
Yes, very Chip and Joanna Gaines.
Yes,
but not Ray Dunn.
Not Ray Dunn though. Yeah,
not Ray Dunn. Ray Dunn is too trashy for them.
Yeah,
they want upscale, but it's like it's every person's wedding nowadays, you know what I mean, where there's a big barn door in the background, they
have sashes of lavender tied
and there's
with
a
little
big
burlap
star, a giant star with with little individual light bulbs on it. That's just leaning against a wall that people take photos in front of. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah. Yes, I do. Yep. I think they have maybe like 5 photo ops throughout the entire thing.
That's low. That is low for them.
That's low for them.
But
yeah, maybe they were
that's
resisted.
restrained.
Maybe there's a whole New Smythe, for the first time in a Clatfartburg event, invited influencers to come to Harvest Fest.
Yes, absolutely. They invited influencers. And this is huge for Becky and Harper, which won't mean much to you guys, but Becky and Harper are the teens. They're like 19-ish, and they're the museum owners' kids that do the recap podcast. And this is big for them. I don't think they were invited, but they're pretending they were invited.
Yes, they get to live out the fantasy of being influencers, which is very much something that is deep in their core. So they are eating it up here. Yeah. I imagine I also kind of want to put Genevieve and Eileen in some more situations. I feel like this is something that they would be tasked to go report on together, even though this is something Eileen's used to covering herself. But Genevieve,
maybe they're trying to give them like a humanizing moment, like they did with like Tim Walls on the fucking like Ferris wheel at that one. You know what I mean? like they're trying to. Is there? Do we think there's like rides at this one? Do we think there's rides?
I think that there should be like one of those. I think a tractor ride kind of thing, like where you're in like a hayride, I guess. I think would make sense. And then like I'm trying to think of what weird, because New Smythe would also have a weird. They'd be like, okay, that's your classic thing, but then we also have our like. I mean, what if they decided the theme? And no one said there should be a theme for Harvest Fest. They were like, the theme for Harvest Fest is fairy.
Wouldn't Harvest be the theme? Isn't the theme in the
Wouldn't Harvest Fest be the theme? It's Harvest, but Harvest Fest fairy.
In parentheses, fairy. Can we talk about... I do want to briefly, because I did pitch it earlier, and I think it got a little bit under... Can we consider the Crispy Leaves Harvest Fest? Just the Crispy Leaf Harvest Fest?
Yes. I think Crispy Leaf Harvest Fest, because I think Crispy Leaves will have people real fucking stressed. They're like, where's he going?
Worried. They're like, where's he going?
Wait. What if they have created their own mythology that when Crispy leaves, that's when winter happens, and when he comes back, because he's gone fishing, and when he comes back...
We cannot do a Groundhog Day thing with Crispy. We cannot do a Groundhog Day thing with Crispy. I live in Pennsylvania. I've seen enough of this shit. I saw Puxatawny Phil in the fucking flesh, okay?
I was just saying Crispy could be Persephone.
No, I'm
Crispy
misheard
Leaf.
me. I was not doing a Puxatawny Phil. I was actually doing a Persephone metaphor.
Yeah, I'm a little high class.
I'm higher class than you Pennsylvania trash bitch.
Look, I was born and raised in Ohio, but I'm in South Carolina now, so really, I
have pictured Crispy with a little bag over his shoulder and a little hat. Like, but I don't know. I feel like that puts too many limitations on us, because then we can't have Crispy's Holly Jolly Christmas party, you know?
Yeah. Oh, no, for sure. I love the idea of it having a Crispy Leaf. Crispy Leaves.
The Crispy Leaf Harvest Fest.
Crispy Leaf Harvest Fest.
Harvest Fairy.
Fairy. Now, this is where, because look, we've let New Smythe run this. Nobody wanted another theme, but the people between the old Smythe and New Smythe, the New Smythe person was like, it needs another theme.
Yeah.
That theme is fairy. No one's fully engaging with some of the fairy stuff. Now, I think the fairy garden is fucking banger.
Yeah. A lot of like coordinated LED lights.
Yes.
And they probably put it in the lavender farm. I don't know if lavender's growing at the time, but that would be really cool.
You probably have the open space at that point. You can have some nice little doodads. I wonder if they have like little strings, and they like shoot the little fairies like across the zip line them around, which like is cute, but then also like a little creepy. If like the sun's setting, you just see the shadows. The concept of fairies kind of scared me as a child. Because bugs, but now they're humans.
I always kept being like, if I think hard enough, maybe one will show up in my laundry room.
Is that where they appear? Is that a
in my head? That's where they would.
Oh yeah,
because that room was mysterious. It was a little scary.
Okay, yeah. So this fairy garden, I wonder if Lisa Leaf is homeless currently due to the Clatfartburg botanical
Like as a
garden.
character, not just
As a character.
Her.
Not-
Yeah, because
not
as we
her.
remember, Lisa Leaf is a different woman every day, so it's not
Yes, and she has
Lisa Leaf is now technically in the public domain.
Yeah. It's just like the stuff's left over, and like the used car sale. They have so much bigger issues right now that Lisa Leaf, maybe they need some extra funds or something. So maybe Lisa Leaf is out here, but she can't be Lisa Leaf. She's same costume, but now she's like.
I just want to say to the audience, I think we've passed the point where the podcast is incomprehensible to new listeners. I just want to say to us, I think we've passed the point, and I want to give us a little celebratory applause that it only took us about 20 episodes to be completely
Fantastic.
impenetrable. You know,
Fantastic.
because almost nothing this episode is not referencing something we've already done.
It's just like, what?
But that's how real towns are, folks. So it's for the immersion, and it's for the thing, you know?
Exactly. Botanical Gardens, go listen to it. New Smythe Distillery, etc., etc. The fairy garden, I feel like there should be someone guarding it who's taking it really seriously, and they're like, don't step on the fairies. And like, not in like a ooh way, but they're like, don't step on the fairies. These have been handcrafted by the person who handcrafts the fairies, whoever's our little woodworker. And we could still be having the woodworking competition. I think that'd be fun. Mm-hmm. I think Tori Cobbleton, this is her first outing as mayor. So she's definitely going over there, and she's like, she takes there's some photo ops with her and a hammer making a clock. But then she walks away.
Because they normally have a clock making station. So that's like, normally they have like an area, or maybe just an area you can buy clocks that are put onto pieces of wood, because that feels autumnal.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, and then you
she's
can.
Like, I put a fairy in this one.
I
used my woodcutter to draw a fairy on this one.
She's like speaking to children. She's like not spoken to a child.
And this is this is actually the great thing, because now what I think is going to happen is she's basically essentially what's going to happen is Mrs. Parson is going to be the White House press secretary of this event, of this administration, essentially, which is not typically the role of the vice mayor, but it would make sense as an administration.
So fucking good. Okay, so we have our little fairy garden. I think you can like walk around it. It's like sizable. Mm-hmm. Look, I'll say it. I think there's a model train going through it. And they decorated it to look really cute and woodsy. It's adorable. And it does have some fake little steam coming out of it.
The second model train has entered Clatfartburg. 2 model trains.
I feel like we've done a very good job.
We've really restrained ourselves. And I feel like this is the time to pull it in.
Yeah, it's good. So we've got that going on. And then, let's circle back, because in the middle of this big field that New Smythe has let us have, they've tried to create this big cornucopia.
So you wanted to talk about what fruits and vegetables are in the cornucopia?
Yeah, what's in this fucking cornucopia? What's up with the cornucopia?
So how big are you picturing the cornucopia first? I want to know, because you picturing like
stupid big. I'm picturing like.
So are you picturing oversized fruits and vegetables as well, like a sculpture, or real fruits and vegetables? Because I think we need to nail this down.
Well, I'm thinking we start sculpture, and then there might be like a couple like a folding table on either side with like some actual fruits and vegetables. Maybe you can like pick or something.
On the outside or the inside?
Well, because I imagine this is always the question I have: is the cornucopia, the horn itself, so tiny and then everything explodes from it, or should the cornucopia itself then I guess be huge? Which I do actually like the idea now of it being huge enough that people are getting up to mischief and mayhem crawling about the cornucopia. I don't even know the history.
That feels like it needs to be a permanent structure.
Yeah,
which I'm not against.
I'm not against it either. New Smythe is branching out. They have too much money and they don't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
So they've made a cornucopia that will look really weird out of context. But they've brought in, maybe it's one of those artist installations where they've created that, and then other artists have also brought in art of different vegetables and fruits.
Oh, I love that.
And so there's like a tomato, but it's got teeth.
Okay.
They didn't read the room. I didn't say they were good artists.
There's some zucchinis that are crocheted.
That's really cute. I do like a crocheted food. It's very adorable.
A quilted cabbage leaf. I'm a big
Mrs. Parsnip goes over to a parsnip and does a little photo shoot. It's a parsnip wearing a little bow tie.
Yeah, that's good. I like that.
I don't
There's
know what
about
they fully
5
look like,
different
but-
vegetables that are made in the shape of fish, and people are like, all right, get a new fucking idea. This isn't all of it. And she got a little pissed when she saw those. She was like, I appreciate the creativity done in these designs, but I really hope everyone gets to experience their true self and what they really believe in. Thank you. You know, those sorts of things. She was like, have we considered, oh my goodness, is there a potato that looks like a cat here? No, well, that's all right.
It's fine.
We'll get him next year.
She pushed really hard to see if, because what's the potato cat's name?
Petra the potato cat.
Petra the potato cat. She tried really hard to get him rented for this event, but they were already like booked in advance.
Him rented? Wait, like what?
Well, like having him show up, right? Because that was like her animatronic, like she used to work with. Right?
I don't know if we ever established if it was an animatronic. I thought it was a cat who's like dead by now. That's what I assumed.
Oh fuck! I thought it was an animatronic.
That or a puppet. I was like, what do you mean she got him rented?
Oh my god! Wow. Okay, that's fair.
I guess it was probably a puppet. It's probably a puppet. And I was just picturing a guy who is Petra the potato cat. She had to rent him. I was just like, what? Anyway, that's not that crazy. But yeah, the animatronic. It's just the fact that the woman who invented Petra the potato cat couldn't get him. He's too in demand, you know?
He's too busy doing the Faxville Harvest Fest.
Fuck.
Ooh, that was the last scandal that came out right before the polls, you know? It was not good. That's amazing. Yeah, I like, I think there's like an odd amount of grapes.
Yeah.
Of like normal size and then like absurd size, like couch sized, and then you have like.
And then maybe on the inside there's places where people donate stuff for a food bank. Because that seems cute.
That's good. That's good.
That seems
I do
wholesome.
like that. That's good. That's good. Yeah. And I like the idea that you could like crawl through it. They actually want it to be very interactive, even though it's like you're hauling through like these very heavy fake food items and it's a little overwhelming. You know, the big kids bully the younger kids in there in a fun way.
Right.
And it's character building. It's fine.
Yeah.
No one's traumatized by it, okay? It's fine.
And the reason all the food is big is because it makes you feel like you're the size of a fairy.
Oh my god.
I did it.
That's
I did it,
good.
guys.
That's good. Okay. I'm like, my hair's going wild because I'm feeling the spirit right now. If we have fairies, that means we get to have a stand that does fairy hair. It's where you put like the little glitter strands in your hair.
Yes.
And you can shake it all around. Like we get to enter some mild Renaissance fair things.
You get some glitter face. Oh my god, I haven't even considered the Renaissance Festival episode that's going to come in a year and a half.
It's going to be so hard. It's going to go so hard.
Yeah. Just get yourselves fucking ready for when we drop that.
Sit down, take your meds.
Probably a year.
Yeah.
Yeah, lots of little face paint where you can get little sparkles and hearts and glitter and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think there's like an arts and crafts little table. Because I imagine a lot of crafts happening here. Like when I was a child, I used to have to like glue beans onto jewelry boxes.
Like legally?
It was for recreation. It was not resold.
I knew it was making you do it. It was like...
I think this was at Vacation Bible School.
Oh, that's where it is. That's
like,
where it always is. I had a few Vacation Bible School experiences in my time.
Beans. You want to
For some
design
reason,
a
all I
jewelry
remember
box?
was like worms, dirt and worms in a cup. You know that snack?
Oh, yeah.
Whenever I think
a
of Vacation
snack
Bible
with a
School, I
story.
think of that. Those little tiny plastic cups that are like...
oh, yeah.
that are designed like the bathroom windows. Yeah, what is that? You know when it's like glass, frosted.
Oh, frosted. Yes. Yes.
Frosted plastic cups with worms in it. You know, little gummy worms.
Wow.
I didn't like gummy worms, and it was stressful.
VBS was fun, but then I was like, oh, this is why people like LARPing. That's what this is about. I get to have fake currency. And then
that was not my Vacation Bible Schools. Mine were lame as
we
hell.
had little coins, and then I started stealing coins and making my own, and nobody caught me or stopped me. And
you were
so
doing some Survivor shit.
We would go out to the marketplace, and I was ready to buy all the supplies. I got all the craft stuff I wanted. I got so many stuff. I had the best time, and no one caught on. No one knew, and I was just over here laundering money like it was going out of business, kind of thing.
You're sneaking down to the basement with the lights off to activate the photocopier.
Yeah, so this is why I'm going to hell. And with that, wouldn't it be fun if there was certain... This would be so annoying if they did this. If they were like, okay, come and get your harvest coins.
That would
you have to use tokens
so
everywhere you go. Like,
what do we think the apple cider game here is?
Oh, it has to be amazing.
It has to be incredible, but there has to be like a fun twist on it because normally there is a weird one. You know what I mean? At these,
yeah.
Well, there's the normal apple cider vinegar. Yeah, there's the absinthe vinegar.
Green apple cider.
Green apple cider,
and it's green apples and absinthe, and so that way you know it's like and then they do a whole like it's the poison, but like green apple cider, absinthe.
And cider.
And cider.
Green apple, absinthe, and cider.
Apple cider. They're not good at names. We've been through
they're
that.
not.
So that could be like the alcoholic version. But then like, yeah, I feel like I just got into apple cider. This is a newer thing in my life. So I don't know like.
Dude, I just pictured, I don't know if this would be good because I don't know what absinthe tastes like, but like a warm, like oatmeal cookie vanilla sundae with a little bit of alcoholic apple cider on top of it.
Whoa.
I don't know if that'd be good, but I imagined it and it made me happy.
I think they're selling it for $9.99. You know?
And that's a fucking steal. Honestly, that's a pretty good
steal.
Good.
It's a pretty good steal, And they have really fun like paperware stuff. Like it's like I guess this is actually very important. How much crispy representation? If it is Crispy Leaf Fest, I imagine we got some crispy.
I would say 10% crispy. I don't think it's too much because it's not Crispy Fest. I think the name is more of a joke than it is. Like, I think originally the like logo for it was a leaf in the shape of crispy, but like it's not. It's not like. I don't think it's like he's not the main event. It's more of just this is in Clatfartburg, therefore we will call it the Crispy Leaf Harvest Fest.
Gotcha. Okay, so it's kind of like how everyone jokes about.
In the way that downtown Disney is downtown Disney, this is Crispy Leaf Fest.
Okay,
like it is a
sense.
downtown Disney.
Locally, that's what it's known as, but it is officially okay. So some people might. There's probably like a few Crispy just dressed as a cute little farmer in little overalls and a plaid shirt and a hat with a little straw sticking out of his mouth. That's happening. He's having a good time. Okay, so that does help navigate how much fish presence we have.
Yeah.
So we go from the corn maze. We've got our apple cider. Do we have another like big food event we want to have? We can have some of our food trucks back, honestly, if we want. I mean, is La Marque Rouge here? What is their autumnal special?
Holy shit. What is their pumpkin ketchup?
Yeah, I guess that would make sense.
Pumpkin ketchup. I don't like it, but I think that's what they have.
Squash up.
Butternut squash ketchup.
Oh.
Butternut squash ketchup.
Yeah, they have a pumpkin, a butternut squash.
And an acorn squash. And you try and tell the difference.
That's so cute. They're having, they have sweet potato fries for people to try.
Can there please be a big slide?
Of course there can.
I'm just thinking of all the different, like, harvest fests that I went to throughout my life, and I remember going to one farm where I distinctly remember this farmer boy flirting with me, and it was a shock to everyone in the group.
Oh my god.
Because they were like, what happened
everyone
here?
In the group.
No, because everyone was like, y'all fucking saw that? And I was like, I know, it was fucking crazy, right? Isn't that shit wild? Where's the big, the thing where you fling bean bags?
Cornhole?
No, like from far away with like a slingshot.
Oh, like a catapult? Because I was going to bring up apple cannons.
Yes, apple cannons. That's something.
Yeah, catapults, apple cannons. That's where you have the different PVC pipes, and you just get to shoot. Learned that when I took my dog, who's afraid of loud noises, to go pick apples, and we were having a great time, and then they unleashed the apple cannons, and it was then the worst time ever. Woo! It was fine.
I feel like there should be an alert for that.
Yeah, I and you know what? It probably I just didn't think apple cannon and went. That's going to be something that's constantly loud. But it was a big enough farm, and Fern's fine. She's suffered way more trauma before I even got her. She's okay. Yeah. She's doing fine, I promise. Yes, I think there should be a whole projectile section then. I think there should be... I don't know what the beanbag flinging things are, but I like a... a slingshot something. They could be doing slingshot...
I mean, we should probably bring it back to the
Plushies.
fairies.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Matt, maybe they're spells. What are petals? Flowers? What are they? What are some good ideas that they have?
I mean, maybe flowers. You're flinging them and trying to get them in baskets or something.
Okay.
Help the fairies collect their autumn objects. So it's like flowers and squashes and things like that.
Do fairies, are they like little hoarders? Kind of like Ariel? Are they like, ooh, a dingle hopper?
Well,
I want that.
it depends on what lore we're looking at. I actually don't know. Well, the Tinker Fairies, yes. They do repurpose human items and recraft them. See, I was a big fan of the Tinkerbell games, okay? So I lived in the world of the fairies for a considerable amount of time. You know what I mean? And I would try to adopt the
statement.
Thank you.
That was like the start of a poem.
And I would adopt the ladybugs and then immediately return them back to the adoption center because it was too stressful for me to figure out how often I had to feed them. And I was like, I don't need that level of stress as a 6-year-old. I'm above that, you know? These were the things I thought about, and that's why I am the way I am now. I did that, and then I used Microsoft Publisher for fun. Put those two together,
and
you
now
get me today.
here you are today.
Yeah.
I think that there should be, I know that the apple cannons happen, again, they're the PVC pipes, and then I know potato cannons are a really big thing. I think they're like bazookas. So I think there's just a whole projectile area. I do want it to be known that Nancy and the blacksmith are at this event. I think that they are running booths, but they have somehow miraculously ended up next to each other in the booths. Nancy does have her autumnal napkins ready to go. She's got a nice little pumpkins that are cuddling, the cuddle pumpkins, as she likes to call them. It's a design that people really enjoy gifting to others where they don't have to see it often. And she has also kind of been reckoning with, because she heard that a lot of her friends tried to write her in for the vote, and she saw that there was enough people who wrote her in that she like made the board, so to speak. And so she's kind of reckoning with that because she really did not want to be in politics, but now she's seeing like, wow, I have like power. This is interesting, you know? But fall is the time for lovers. And Nancy and the blacksmith were having a little bit of issue with the whole alien club thing. But people are keeping an eye out. And they seem to be pretty cozy. They seem to be, like, winking at each other. You know, drinking some apple cider. You know, blacksmith will go get some apple cider. He drops one off for her, even though they don't have time to talk. So it's not too bad. But it's spicy, you know, whatever's going on. Spice like that apple cider, if you will.
I feel like we should get back to the influencers because we kind of dropped that and then never got back to it.
Oh, yeah, let's go.
What do we think the influencers are doing? Because, like, do we think they're local? I mean, they can't be local. There's no local.
I don't think they're local, and I think that it's, like, an awful idea. I think it's kind of the thing where they're not big enough that by making any video, or even if they were big enough, any video they make is going to have no impact on New Smythe or Clatfartburg whatsoever. The video will either get taken down, demonetized, or just will not be like,
why? What's gonna happen with it? They're just playing so much copyrighted music at this festival.
It's just nothing but Taylor Swift constantly on loop.
Oh, it's Taylor Swift.
She will not let that fly.
I want like
without
two
that
more
copyright.
Artists. It's Taylor Swift, Tori Amos, and all the sad ones. Yes. And what's a third one?
Who's a good, like...
Simon and Garfunkel?
I like that as a random one to third. Yeah, let's do that. It's Taylor Swift, Tori Amos, and Simon and Garfunkel.
Classic autumn vibes. So, like, you have one of the people coming in. Hi, everybody. It's my day at the Crispy Leaf Autumn Fest. Hello, darkness, my old friend. I'm looking around the festival. I'm here to try my new, the green apple spice, the green apple absinthe, vanilla sundae.
See, and then that video gets taken down because they get so much hate comments.
Learn the fucking name before you start the video, idiot.
Yeah.
Look at the it's on the sign behind you. It's long, but come on, man. This is your fucking job.
Someone in the comments, what's absinthe? Reply, try Googling it. Gosh, you don't have to be so mean. I'm sorry. Just try to look for context. I don't know. I'll be the nice one and explain what absinthe is, runs out of text room. Every comment section.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, I imagine someone's like, here's my day in the life at the Clatfartburg Harvest Fest. First, I woke up to the beautiful sun streaming through my window at the local inn. I walked down and I got some of their local chowder. It was really interesting. You'll see me here in front of the Cornucopia. There were some fruits and vegetables. It was really fun. I found some of my old influencer friends and we giggled a lot and did some shots. And then the video dies after that because they did shots of absinthe and those influencers are knocked out.
Yeah, they're fucking toast.
They're fucked up and knocked out. So they're off in their own separate version.
You're not prepared for the Clatfartburg. Oh yeah, that's right. Clatfartburg has their open container policy, but only if it's not a brand. It has to be craft only, right?
There's one video goes viral, and it's one of the influencers going, do you know where Starbucks is? And it's just like so creepy. Everyone in the vicinity just stops and like slowly turns to look at them. Yeah. And they're like, and they're like in their car, like crying. They're like, I had a really weird experience just now. And like, I don't know how to explain it, but I just wanted to get a Starbucks and I understand. And Becky and Harper are like frothing at the mouth. They're like, we can totally get on this. This can be like our big break. Like we can tell them about the Starbucks.
It was literally like I was in the fucking Village movie by M. Night Shyamalan, guys. It was crazy.
Also, our goodie bags were not great as influencers. I they opened up the goodie bag and like I got this like really old like t-shirt from Crispy Fest, but the design is really tacky. It's just this fish with two legs. It's from 2003.
Okay, does Crispy have two legs? Because I don't know if we've established that, and I don't think I like Crispy having two legs. That was just an executive decision made by them that was poor.
Yeah, no, this was part of the whole like no one can get the
Crispy
there was
design.
like the one design they like, and ever since then they've fucked it up. So that's what 2003 was a really bad year. Really bad year of designs.
It was a really bad year of designs for humans too. Heyo.
Yeah. Ooh. Yeah. Ooh.
A little bit of self-deprecating humor is what I call it.
It's nice to do some self-deprecating humor as humans from time to time, you know.
As humans, as a human person, I feel like it's something I might do.
You were there with me. I had a nightmare at orangutan climbed a giant mountain, but there was a fence in it because we were at the zoo, and someone was like encouraging it to do it. I'm like, don't, because you're going to make it jump down and it's going to break the fence and break out. And they were like, no, that won't happen. Well, guess fuckity what happened. The orangutan, it was a Borean orangutan, by the way, specific species, jumps down and it thwacks, okay, and it opens up the gate, and you and I are like, fuck, run. And this orangutan is going crazy, okay? I've watched the Chimp Crazy docuseries. I now have a new fear of a chimpanzee coming out of fucking nowhere and ripping my face off, okay? It might have been spurned by that. And the orangutan's following us, okay? Now we're in London. Don't worry about it. There's still cars running away from the zoo. And we're like found a cafe and we're waiting out and we're telling people about the orangutan, and it's there and it's trying to find something. And then I woke up.
It's coming through like fucking James Bond. It's got like, like fucking. Did we get away?
I feel free. I think we got away, and then we had a nice little pastry, I think, or something.
Oh, thank God.
We were laughing. We were like scared, and then we would be laughing, and then be scared again, and then be laughing. And we both had the right, just like we were getting to people. We were telling everybody, we're like, we fucking told you, don't do that. Told you so. Don't go the orangutan to go all the way up the mountain and then jump on the fence. It'll break it, and then it'll run away.
Was that about the orangutan from watching Chimp Crazy, or was that about the Wonka 2 rumors? Because there's a lot going on.
You know, and it might have even been a stress stream about some other orange creature that might be ruining lives. It's just really hard to say. Though I will say, there was some sympathy went in where it's like, it's not the orangutan's fault. It's a wild creature, and it's been let out, you know? There was that humanizing element to it. It wasn't this evil orangutan. It's an orangutan that was... It's a wild animal.
It had feelings.
What would you do if you were let out in the middle of London and everyone was staring at you and you weren't wearing any clothes? You'd feel weird too. You'd want to rip some faces. You'd want to fling some poo. You'd want to smash some car. Can there be a rec room side?
To what?
Harvest Fest? A nice little rec room. It's like...
In where? In the building or outside?
It'll be off to the side outside. So maybe there's like a fence area and then like over there. And it's really lackluster. They're trying to like, they have heavy metal playing, but it has to be really quiet.
Our feces throwing exhibit based on the dream one of our founders had. We're not doing that. I just... That was Harvest Fest : Zoo. That was Crispy Leaf Harvest Fest : Zoo year.
Welcome to the dungarees. You're gonna grab it's cornhole, but you got a pile of dung. Beanbag. You're gonna go over here and you're gonna throw it over here.
I think this is our most scattered episode we've ever recorded.
I'm feeling crazy. So the influencers are not having a good time, but people, and it's because Clatfartburgians do not want them there. They do not want to be put on the map in such a way, and they do not appreciate the way these people are going about it. And I don't think the influencers necessarily, some of them are meaning to be rude, but let's be real, some of them think they're entitled to something, and they are getting served a nice little pumpkin pie as well as a humble pie slice. And guess what? They didn't save room for dinner, but the meat's coming. I don't know what I meant by that.
What does that mean? Hey, what does that mean?
The worst is yet to come, I think. But I don't know why it was the meat's coming.
We're leading towards mob violence in a way I'm not pleased about.
And it's not that. It's not that at all. These people are not getting like attacked. It's just kind of more like they very much do not fit in. And this is not the event they were promised either.
No,
I think that they've seen videos of New Smythe, which again, it's this very like high polished, like squeaky clean New Century kind of vibe.
It's new build apartment complex lobby core, you know?
Yes, you know, and that's very different than if you're just at any other fall fest kind of thing happening in a town, and it's very confusing. Especially with a town that has so many weird quirks. And they dared to ask the question, what is this fish? And that just was its own side rant. So they're not doing well. I think they're stumbling. They're also, since they all have their like selfie sticks and stuff and they're going around, I think they're constantly falling and like bumping into things. Yeah. Because this isn't well laid out. This is the first time they've laid out everything at New Smythe. They did not really necessarily think about like traffic control and like where crowds might be bottlenecking more.
And they're like, it's cozy.
It's nice and cozy. There's like one person over like a little PA system they've created, but the microphone is one of those things where it's like really quiet. You just sound like you're in a microphone voice kind of thing, you know, but you're not actually loud. So you're just the crowd's talking. They're like, hey, if you can please just excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse
please,
me.
Excuse
please.
Me. Hello.
Excuse me. Hello.
Excuse me.
Hello. Excuse me. Hello. Just doing that for 30 minutes and no one's listening.
Indecipherable to anyone but the two of us what that was. For a throwback, for people who weren't listening, that's a reference to a thing you've never heard. When me and Elaine, after watching Wonka, wanted to order fries at, was it Shake Shack or was it somewhere else?
Cookout.
It was Cookout. We wanted to order fries, but they left before Elaine could order the fries, which just left her going at the window. Hello, excuse me? Hello. Hello, excuse me.
And Felicia started dying next to me, and I just
it doesn't make me laugh just saying it, but picturing it again and feeling how I felt in the moment and watching you at an empty window going, hello, excuse me.
Hello. I was like, we're getting
it's the saddest thing I've ever seen. It was incredible.
Oh my God. Okay, so we've got. Okay, do we have any other fun? I was just trying to think of any other like little shop kind of booth things. I think that there is Jim Parsons animatronic.
Oh yeah,
is definitely out and about.
They put a scarf on him. Does he move? I don't like out and about. He's out.
I didn't really like that either. I think maybe he's in like a little like red wagon, and then to move him to where he will be stationed.
Right.
Maybe
that'd be crazy if they set him up on a wagon and bring him around like he's a fucking parade float, though.
Yeah. So I did just have the
Jim Parsons, the Fairy King.
Wait, what?
Jim Parsons, the Fairy King. And then a lot of people interpret that as a homophobic statement, and they're like, it's not, it's a pride of honor. It's a place of honor. It was the fairy themed event, and Jim Parsons has a special place in our town. This was not meant to be a diss at him.
This is actually what happens. New Smythe is like, influencers, come here. We're giving your money back. Delete all these videos. Delete all of them. Do not delete it.
Don't put out Jim Parsons, the Fairy King, because we realized we made a mistake.
Here's what we didn't realize.
Quite offensive retrospectively.
We didn't understand. We didn't think about it outside of the context. This is not good. This is not good. We get it. If you weren't here and you don't get the full picture, no, fine. Yeah. Yeah. So, But they're like,
my
what?
meet and greet with Jim Parsons, the Clatfartburg Fairy King. Guys, something homophobic happened at the Clatfartburg Harvest Fest.
Okay, so Jim Parsons animatronic dresses the Fairy King. I imagine a really cute like crown. What do they wear crowns? What's the fairy like oligarchy vibe thing, you know?
Well, if we're talking about the Disney Neverland fairies, there's not really any male oligarchy because it's all about the big queen, which I'm forgetting her name currently, but then the real true oligarch is Mother Hen, who runs the entire fucking island, and the magic of her is what runs Neverland, all right? I'm pretty sure the male counterpart of fairies are called sparrow men, but don't count me on that because that seems wild, and I'm like, just make them fucking fairies, okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
But that's where you get your Terrans and some of the other male fairies who wear little acorn caps on their heads. Bobble, Tank and Bobble, 2 other male fairies, just as a note. I've watched a lot of these, okay? The films were very important to me.
Because all I have is Thumbelina, and that
but
movie
it's
was
only
kinda
Disney fairies, so I think it can be whatever we want to be. He could be having his little Oberon moment, you know, his Midsummer's Night Dream.
Oh, I love that. And then can somebody come out, because we have daytime of the Harvest Fest, which is just classic. I think there's some pumpkins you're carving maybe still, and like a pumpkin patch, whatever. And then I think there's the nighttime, and I think that they like to they'll hold on to a little bit of the spooky from Halloween. There's still some fun. So there's definitely a corn maze. There is such a corn maze.
Hell yeah.
And it is so complicated. It is so complicated. It probably has a 5% success rate, actually.
Yeah.
They have to have people go in
what
and get them out.
What do we think the design is? Because that's big. Like, when you zoom out, what do you think it is?
Ooh, okay. It's been such a big year for them, honestly.
It's an 8-panel comic.
It's an 8-panel comic.
Yeah, it's an 8-panel comic depicting... we could say depicting Sinaster's various... Sinaster's predictions. It's an 8-panel comic about Sinaster.
That's perfect. And you know what's unfortunate? You're going through the corn maze. You're kind of doing okay. You go down this one really long stretch. It's like the edge of the comic. They've broken it up a bit, but like you're like, oh, it's weird, but things are gotten really dark. And then you realize like, oh, that was and let me turn around and you see something glint. And you're like, what is that? And then emerging from the corn is Barnacle Crispin.
Oh, fuck this.
I got lost. Stop. And people are screaming. He genuinely got lost because he tried to do it, but he can't fucking see shit.
Well, and he's on the lam right now, right? They're trying to get him.
That's right. Wait,
for sucking up the public pool.
He was trying to hide in the cornfields, and they started like doing all this recently. He's like, oh, fuck. He's been hanging out at New Smythe because everyone's so fucking cracked out and having hallucinations that he
was hiding under the styrofoam pumpkin in the cornucopia. That's his safe house. He was living the grapes. He was living off all the grapes and the food bank donations.
Like, those were my pillows. I set up my bed so perfectly.
The cabbage quilt was perfect for me at night. The cabbage quilt. How does he talk? So, the cabbage quilt was perfect for me. There we go. That's right.
Wait, sorry.
So he's running through, and finally people encounter him because he's realizing people are going to uncover his hiding under Sinaster's left nostril in the 6th panel.
Yeah,
you know, he's hiding in there, and people were starting to break through the maze out of desperation. He's like, "Oh no, I'm going to get caught!" So he's trying to get out. Clonk, 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 clonk. Do you know what I mean? I feel like somehow he needs to intercept with the Jim Parsons Fairy King animatronic.
Okay, so meanwhile, we've done our meet and greet. We've done little photos with the Jim Parsons animatronic, the Fairy King.
Does he try and frame the animatronic? Does he put the diver's helmet on the animatronic and be like, that's Barnacle?
So he's in a red wagon. Wait, no, New Smythe is on a giant hill. There's a slope. True. So if this it's not a huge hill, but it's a slope enough that if that red wagon got a little gentle push, it could just start going. And so
he like commandeers the wagon. He starts fucking running and pushing it and gets into it and runs away with the Jim Parsons Fairy King audio animatronic.
Wait!
He steals the animatronic.
That's even better. So it's like, it's a distraction Watch, and he puts the helmet on Jim Parsons and pushes him out. So he runs away while his kids try to, but no, it's now a heist.
He is stolen. He's using it as a getaway vehicle. It's like what happened to Cheryl in Miss Congeniality 2.
And just
Jim Parsons just got caught up in it.
Bazinga!
Bazinga! As it pushes down the hill.
Okay.
And you know what? It goes right into the fucking woods again, bitch.
And then, like,
Tori Cobblepot is like, and this is why. It's about time.
And Tori's had a few to drink. And she's still chill, you know. She's one of those people who are like, you will rarely know, but there's some, like, inflection in her voice, and she's just like 2 fists in the air, like, woohoo, like, it's like, it's real. I'm not crazy. There's something in there.
Why? What else would he be taking the Jim Parsons animatronic?
There's something in there. And then Eileen and Genevieve, who have been slowly, meticulously trying to create a CFB news, I don't know, quilt or something segment. You know, they're yeah, one of those segments they're doing. Maybe they were like bobbing for apples or something. Okay, so they look horrible.
Oh yeah, and like Genevieve has gone to like the sand art station and is really fucking showing up Eileen because she used to work on the craft home.
And Eileen is horrible at crafts.
This is her safe space. Like this is Genevieve's turf. Like she is so at home at this festival. This is where she wants to live.
She was getting such good like footage and talking. Eileen sees all this commotion happen. She stands up, flips the table as she does it. Everyone's sand art goes crazy.
Sand art, Eileen.
Breaking news. Animatronic is on the run with what looks to be a submarine man, and then just starts running. The cameraman is like, what the hell is going on? Genevieve sees it too.
Doesn't run with her, just as the camera as Eileen Wurst is sprinting across a field, and she's like, hold on, wait, I see something. He's going down the hill.
According to my sources, this hill is very steep and very slow. As I'm following behind me, I look behind. Looks like Genevieve is trying to run as well. Our cameraman is still standing there, but we're both running. And I see Barnacle Crispin, I think. It's just the helmet. Oh, God, the sparks are so high. Oh, God. And then they all end up in the cornfield one point on the way to the woods. Barnacle, Crispin, animatronic, they're in the woods, but they had to go through the cornfield. But unfortunately, Eileen gets lost in the woods, okay? Genevieve Bergello falls in.
In the cornfield or the woods?
Sorry, in the cornfield. Oh my God, in the cornfield, in the cornfield. And then Genevieve Bergello was also trying to run after her because, like, gonna get that story as well and beat Eileen to it. Eileen went crazy. Yeah. Genevieve will try to strategize, but also gets lost. So the only way they communicate then is through live TV because they haven't cut. They both have their mics and their earpieces, so they're trying to basically echolocation, I guess, figure out later, like...
Currently what I'm seeing above is the stars, and according to my left and to my right, there is one that is a little more brown husk than the other. Genevieve, what are you seeing on your side?
I'm seeing what looks to be like I'm in between 2 lines of corn, which is quite difficult. If I look up above me, I also see stars, and I see about 4 of them from my standing. Perhaps the light pollution in this area is making it a little difficult to identify every single star.
It's interesting. I'm also starting to smell some illegal substances being smoked perhaps in a part of this area. I will go investigate.
Interesting. I will see if I can also gather that smell through my nostrils to similarly investigate and see if we can find out what this is together to hopefully get ourselves out of this maze and continue to report on the breaking news.
Thank you.
Genevieve is currently trying to hack through. She's like, yeah, I'm currently looking, and she's like knocking it through with her high heel to try and like get out like she's in the fucking jungle.
The Trout Scouts, meanwhile, they've just been doing their classic. They've been like tied knots, whatever.
It's their time to come to the rescue.
It's their time to shine. They're about to get a new badge. So we've lost 2 people in the maze hardcore. Others need to be rescued. And so what they do is they have this like really bright rope and they've tied it to themselves and they send in their bravest little Trout Scout. Kathleen Wurst? Was that her name? Little Kathleen Wurst? She's like, I'm going to go save them. And then she goes in there and she realizes that she can go to the left. She sees Genevieve Bergello. She goes to the right. Here's Eileen Wurst. And, you know, I guess we'll find out what happens there.
Whoa, is that going to be your cliffhanger?
That might be my cliffhanger. Who gets saved? Who does Kathleen save? Where do her loyalties ride? Because this is one of, for the context here, in the episode after Trout Scouts charity hockey game.
I think so. Yeah.
And it might have been following that.
Yeah, Kathleen
Wurst is Eileen's like younger stepsister, I
Or
think,
niece?
much younger.
Yeah, stepsister. It's
Stepsister. She's in Trout Scouts, which is basically the Boy Scouts, but Clatfartburg style. And Kathleen has always wanted to be a news reporter. And so for a badge, she could like go follow a dream job and shadow somebody. And Eileen obviously is a news anchor, but Kathleen chose Genevieve Bargello.
Big drama.
Which was big drama. And that has been big drama at home, you best believe. So,
Actually, do we want to resolve it or do it next episode? What do you think?
We can resolve it now. What do you think?
I don't know. I feel like it is a good cliffhanger.
To be determined.
To be determined. Next episode, we'll pick up. You'll learn who Kathleen...
So to recap...
Who does Kathleen wear safe? It's really funny because, like, nothing happened in this episode, and then in the last 10 minutes, everything happened.
Everything happened. So to recap, New Smythe is hosting Harvest Fest, colloquially known as Crispy Leaf Fest. They decided to bring in
fairies.
Colon fairies. Because they decided a little fairy theme needs to happen throughout. And so there is a fairy garden. There's somebody guarding it who is very into, like, don't step on it. There are also some fairy-themed things such as crafts and projectiles, including an apple cannon, a potato cannon, and potentially, hypothetically, around the other side is a weird dung-flinging heap, but we don't talk about it.
That was a few years ago. Okay, that was not recent.
Our classic Lamarck Rouge, Nancy Pankin Blacksmith, etc. Fill in the blanks. They're doing their own thing. There's a big fucking cornucopia in the middle, made by artists of all around the place, and they've created different things to put in the cornucopia, where it turns out Barnacle Crispin has been hiding since he's been on the lam. He's from the Ghost Tour episode, by the way.
He's been eating the food that's stuck in the food bank of the cornucopia. All right.
Yes.
And then you can also get green apple cider absinthe. You can get that and a fun vanilla thing. There's also sand art and fairy hair. They also invited influencers to the event, and there was a big drama where they asked where the Starbucks was, but the real drama came when the Jim Parsons animatronic was touted around on a red wagon and called the Fairy King, and then they realized that could have homophobic implications, so they asked the influencers to delete everything on their phone. But the drama with the Jim Parsons animatronic was not over yet, as Barnacle Crispin emerged out of the corn maze at the time, because people were about to find him hidden under Sinaster's left nostril in the sixth panel.
Yes, because the corn maze is a 6-panel comic.
A 6-panel
with
comic
a 5% success
and everyone
rate.
is lost. He comes out. He grabs onto the wagon and starts running it up the hill. And takes it with the animatronic, jumps on the back of it like E.T., and goes into the woods with the animatronic. And Genevieve and Eileen chase after it, but for some reason also have to go through the corn maze to do it, even though that doesn't really make sense, but make it make sense in your brain, and it does make sense. And they get stuck in there, and who will Kathleen wear save? It's simple, guys. It's easy.
It's simple. It's just like any other festival, really. Little Harvest Fest. It's just
like
what
any
happens.
other... The amount of prerequisite knowledge that any podcast requires, you know?
Yeah. Taylor Swift's All Too Well 10-minute version is playing in the background. There you go.
Oh yeah. And the whole time, Tori Amos, Simon and Garfunkel, Taylor Swift. Those three.
What I want listeners to do is to please, like, what do you imagine? Like I think it's fun to, with the listener headcanon edition, I specifically do want to know more about what they believe would happen at this Harvest Fest, and like what
different booths and stuff, because we really didn't talk about it that much. We were scattered today. It
was just so fun to focus on all the fruits and the fairies.
And I like that you were like, this episode, what I do know coming in is we're going to talk about what fruits are in the cornucopia.
we will be discussing the cornucopia, and that'll be great. Yeah. But what do you think is that Crispy Leaf Harvest Fest fairy? And what other drama? And if there's anything specific more you want to hear more about this part, we could do a bonus episode on it. There's nothing stopping us. There's nothing stopping us. So
let us know what you're interested in. Well, speaking of listener feedback, we have a really special headcanon today, because it's quite extensive, and it does rely exclusively on 2 characters that have only been explored in a bonus episode. So maybe just give this on yourself a taster, because this is about Otter She Better Don't, the podcast hosted by Becky and Harper, who were referenced briefly at the beginning of this episode, who are the nieces of 2 of the owners of the Public Museum of Clatfartburg's thing. And they do the Public Museum of Clatfartburg, and they do a podcast recapping the Public Museum of Clatfartburg's Big Bang Theory recap podcast. So this is a headcanon by Alex Long, discussing Otter She Better Don't. I think some people find Otter She Better Don't very empowering. A subset of their audience are very, very timid people in their mid-40s who found it through the Big Bang Rewatch podcast. They admire the two bold young women who face life head-on in a way they've never been able to do. It inspires them to stand up for themselves in their lives. So Harper and the other one, which I did like, get emails asking for advice for things like requesting raises at work, dealing with dysfunctional families, and finding meaning in life. And the podcasters email back bad, vague advice, which people love. This allows them to transition from a rewatch podcast to a lifestyle and motivational podcast. Ooh. The CEO of the AI company hired to do the Crispy library installation gains the confidence to come out to a little bye to his wife. And he's so grateful that he offers Harper a PR position at his new startup that develops tiny watches for men. They are disrupting the tiny watches for men industry. And she's in charge of getting journalists to cover celebrities wearing their watches and making sure the articles align with their brand guidelines and CSR commitments. This introduces her to celebrities who then appear on Otter She Better Don't, abbreviated here as OSBD, which grows OSBD and consequently the social status of the podcast host in Clatfartburg. Alex followed up.
I replied to the reply.
2 days later, Becky's the other one. I think she gets a summer job at some point at the strict Victorian-style Oliver Twist orphanage that's 45 minutes away on the far side of Faxville. It used to be run by nuns, but now it's run by the mind, body, spirit, new agey nieces of the nuns who are trying to update everything except the actual treatment of the children. Instead of being called a home for girls, it's now called Girl Orphanage. Becky is the cafeteria director for a summer, and when orphans ask for more girl dinner, please, they get to spend the night in the mindfulness dungeon. And they established later that afternoon, just re-listened to the Ghost Story episode, Girl Orphanage is the old Catholic school that burned down, and when it was rebuilt, that's when it got the hip spiritual but not religious replanting. And yes, hashtag not all nuns. There are a lot of really chill and feminist Franciscan sisters. So just thank you for that. That genuinely brought me a lot of joy, and I agree with all of it. I'm good. I'm on board with all of it. And I appreciated the tiny watch throwback. That brought me back.
I was going to say that is a deep cut as well.
That's a deep cut from the Alice episode of Wonka Watch.
Wow.
Not a highly listened to episode because it had nothing to do with the podcast.
Hey.
That's for the true fans, is the Alice episode.
You've been here so long. Thank you. That's amazing. That truly made me.
So, yeah, if you enjoyed any of that, you can learn the backstories of Becky and Harper on our bonus content, which we do on Clatfartburg.com. You can see all of our little bonus content there. You can get stuff a la carte if you want. You can do little bonus episodes, whatever.
You can get a sample or get the whole cornucopia, so to speak.
Yeah!
Hi! But yeah, hey, the best way to spread the news of Clatfartburg is to share it with people you know. Word of mouth,
Be the little own tourism department for us. We would appreciate it. It would do us a lot of favors.
The Board of Tourism would highly enjoy it. So thank you. And thank you to everybody who participated in the Clatfartburg mayoral election. That was really fun and goofy. And so, yes, you will be seeing storyline effects begin to happen.
Probably shortly, because I feel like we may have made the thing in the woods unavoidable next week with how we set up the end of this episode.
Things are happening. It's coming.
Yeah,
so
we made it a little. We were like, you might have to wait a bit, and I'm like, no, it might be coming soon. Well, thank you everybody for listening. We will see you in about 2 weeks. Thanks for visiting, and I hope you have the crispiest autumn ever.
Yum.
Bye.
Bye.